2011 legislative session was a historic one for the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice. The legislature helped us accomplish the major reform effort of the civil citation program. The civil citation program is basically a way for local law enforcement to manage young people who commit first-time misdemeanors, such as trespassing or shoplifting. Gives those young people a second chance to get their lives back on track, to recognize any difficult or troublesome behavior they've got, avoids deeper involvement in the criminal justice system, saves taxpayer money, and it also helps those young people who commit those first-time misdemeanors to avoid a criminal record that could haunt them for the rest of their lives for committing a nonviolent first-time misdemeanor. So the civil citation program, which is now implemented by several counties, is now going to be a requirement for all counties to have in Florida. And also, we expect it to save taxpayers a significant amount of money. A report issued last November by Associated Industries of Florida, for example, estimates that it will save taxpayers about $150 to $200 million to implement the civil citation program on a statewide basis. It's going to save taxpayers that much money rather than process young people through the criminal justice system. So the civil citation program is really a paradigm shift, a strategic shift for our department, and we're looking forward to working with local law enforcement and implementing it on a statewide basis later this summer. One of the challenges that we're facing this year is how to do more with less, which is what a lot of employers are facing in this economy this year, both in the public and the private sectors. For example, the Department of Juvenile Justice experienced a $70 million budget reduction going into the next fiscal year, which starts July 1st. So how are we going to implement those budget reductions, which also requires us to eliminate more than 1,000 positions? Well, if we're going to be investing more in front-end services, the civil citation program being the cornerstone of that effort, if we're going to do more to keep youth out of the system, then there's less of a need to have the infrastructure required to deal with them on the back end of the system. Those facilities such as detention and residential that are much more expensive to operate. So the strategic focus is on keeping young people out of the system to begin with, civil citation being the prime example of that, and that's where we're going to be investing most of those resources, and that's how we plan to implement those changes. But it's going to be an adjustment for our agency, but we have a plan to deal with it.